Welcome to the Wise podcast. Here with me is the one and only Alexander. I'm Aaron. And today we are just making a little bit of announcement about the future of the Wise podcast and where we are going with our content. So far, it's been an amazing journey. It's spanned for me 8 years personally. Alexander, how long have you been doing this?
About 26 or 27 years. And so good to be with you people. So good to be connected with Aaron all this time. We're over 150 episodes now. So I'm looking forward to changing it up a little bit and getting into this new format.
Yeah, we've, like Alexander said, we've done 150 plus episodes, and we have been repeating a lot of the content because it's important for repetition, for our minds to reprogram ourselves into putting some of these tools and techniques into practice. But we felt like it was time to start changing it up again, as we have throughout the past when we did the Inward Journey story series. Then we went to more of a structured, a more educational type of teaching versus at the beginning we were doing conversations. Now we're going to get into kind of individualizing our journeys between Alexander and I and putting out more content more frequently. All of this newer content will be free for everybody, but it will be us reacting, discussing past episodes, discussing our own journeys, discussing what's going on in our lives, and how we are currently utilizing the philosophy and the tools and techniques to further our own personal growth.
Yes, and a big part of what I'm excited about is going deeper and deeper into the information that we've already given. There's so many levels to this work, and so we're going to just take the outline that we already have and just expand on it. So like Aaron was sharing, we're going to share more personal experiences, and there's an ancient saying of be sure that you're living in contradiction or you're not growing. And so these are the things that like we will be adding to of what we've shared maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and then expanding both on Aaron's end and my own of how we have continued to expand and go deeper into these subjects, and really think that it's going to be a wealth of information, just kind of digging deeper.
And it's not that we're running out of content, because Alexander has informed me that, we've really only discussed level 1 and maybe some level 2 stuff. So I don't know how many levels there actually are, but
yeah, I would say there's at least 4 levels. And many times we have to understand a certain level and then to be able to see it differently to step into that next level. So I think it's going to be very exciting. It's going to create a lot of interest to maybe others to discuss and ask questions. So I think that, moving forward, it's just going to be, I think, a little bit more fun too, just like we were talking about, sharing more personal experiences. And in those personal experiences, there will probably be some bloopers, because again, we want to be able to laugh at our failures. We want to be able to laugh at like maybe where we were stuck in the past, and what it took for us to get out of those limitations and to expand deeper and deeper.
Yeah, I'm excited because we've kind of operated under a structure to keep everything consistent so that people know what to expect and their minds can more easily, take in the information that we're sharing. I'm excited that there's kind of no structure now, and it is however we want to discuss, and I'm also excited that people are still getting 2 different perspectives. They're getting yours, Alexander, who's been at it for 27 years, who has created the tools and techniques and the language of this philosophy. And, I'm in it 6 or 7 years, so I'm kind of closer to like the listener. So while I'm still like 7 years removed, I can still go back and remember, the things that I had to learn before I got other concepts. So I'm still in that range, and I'm still playing that mediator role between the listener and you or the philosophy. So I'm excited to share more about myself. This was a path that I already saw myself going in, and I'm so grateful that the podcast is being flexible right now to allow me to grow into it rather than, have something outside of it.
Yes, and we're going to continue to create content and have similar releases like we've had in the past where Aaron and I are together. At the same time, there's going to be more content being generated because he's going to be creating his own videos. I'm going to be creating my own videos. But this is really still a very connected unit between us two. There's of course no issues. We are just looking to expand and to reach people, in even more ways. And so we're completely supporting each other to share our stories, to share, the growth, again, where we may have limited ourselves and stayed stuck for a while, and then what it took to break through those barriers. So the level of information, there will still be new information coming, and we are going to be really going just deeper and deeper into the subjects that we've talked about in the past. And I don't want to skip over the importance of repetition, for everybody to remember that we're repetitious beings, and every time you're listening to something and you have the thought of, oh, I've already heard this, or I already know this, be very careful with that, because there's normally something in what's being shared that maybe you hadn't quite gotten yet. And that's why we want to say it as many different ways as possible so that it has a higher likelihood to be received.
Yeah, and we've never really marketed or done an intentional marketing of the podcast, and I think this is going to kind of serve to that, because we're going to have shorter, smaller content, more shorts, digging deep, kind of promoting the episodes that we already have that are already so information heavy. And this also frees up time for Alexander to do more classes. I know he has virtual classes on the horizon. We just had an awesome sold out sound journey over the weekend in which we had 60 people packed in, and Alexander performed with his son Ryan for the first time, and it was such an amazing experience to be there and to feel your sincere, heartfelt gratitude for that. It was, I don't know, it was an amazing experience, and people got to check it out if they're in the North Carolina area.
Thank you for that. And it was a very special moment, and it wasn't just our first time together on stage, but it was Ryan's very first time in front of people of doing any kind of performance. So he did incredible, and it was such a great synergy. We had multiple people helping out. It was a group effort. And, thank you to everybody that's carries the interest and the support in my offerings. And it's another great way to share the podcast, to share the philosophy. And we're looking forward to what 2024 and the future brings. It's going to be very exciting, because there's going to be a good bit of movement and lots of things being generated.
So this is definitely an expansion, an alteration, but an expansion, as we're looking to offer more things. And one thing that we wanted to offer everybody out there is a cheaper subscription. So we are going to be lowering the price of that. So look forward to that, but you'll still get all of our back catalog and everything continuing on.
Yeah, and just to add that, these new episodes that we're going to be releasing individually of Aaron and I, they are going to be complimentary, and the subscription is mainly for the back catalog. So we still want to be able to give free content, and then for people that want to go into the whole catalog of over 150 episodes, there'll be a small subscription. And we do feel like it's important to have some type of energetic exchange. That's why we do both free episodes or free partial episodes, and then we ask for that beautiful contribution that our listeners do to help us with that energetic exchange.
And I just want to bring this up because this was very important in our personal conversation. But there have been some people who have said that, oh, well, there's a ton of information already out there. Why charge? What makes your information different?
Yes, and what we want to specify with that is not that it's better than anyone else's out there or it's the best, but it's consistent. And what I have worked on for over 26 years is developing this system to have a language that's consistent with any issue that you may be dealing with in your life, in any area. And so the 5 levels of the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, the energetic, and the physical is a big part of the philosophy, and keeping everything congruent and together is what we feel like that we certainly have to offer. Again, not comparing to anyone out there, but that consistency of language is very important, and that's what I feel like the Just Philosophy has to offer.
Yeah, I like that. The consistency, and it's all in one place.
Mhm.
If you're looking for free information, you're going to have to dig for it and then verify it, and that takes time, and time is money. So we're here to make it easy, and we offer a complete system. And I've gone on many rants discussing how awesome I think it all is, that everything is tied together. You don't have to rely on other people's opinions or a guru or anything like that. So I'll keep it short this time.
Yes, and understanding the definition of philosophy is important as well. That it's a way of life. It's not just cerebral. It's things to actually practice and to work with and to change the perception and the mindset as you move through life. And so I think that that's very important, that these aren't just opinions that's being given, but it is a lifestyle that I've been living for a long time. And now Aaron has been living for quite a while. And it just develops your whole outlook on life, on relationships, on connections to that higher energy, whatever you choose to call that. So basically, the way that I break it down most simply is that most of our issues in our experience is connected to relating. And it's not just intimate relationships, but it's how we relate to ourselves, how we relate to a higher power, and then how we relate to others and our environment. And so that's a very big part of the philosophy and the podcast, is that relating. And there is a similarity through all three of those that becomes a consistency in how you relate to others, how you relate to yourself, how you relate to a higher power. And that consistency, again, is what really helps to direct someone's contentment or happiness in life. And of course, we enjoy sharing this process, but I think that is important to see it as a lifestyle rather than just a belief system or another type of spiritual path or religion. It's really just a lifestyle that we're developing here.
Absolutely. And that's how I've been describing it to people who have asked me. It's a philosophy of life for someone who wants to live in wellness on all 5 levels. And I think we do a great job of explaining it and helping people out.
Yes, and I'm looking so forward to this slight little shift, and it's going to bring in some new energy and a little bit more personal connections with Aaron and I. So we look forward to everybody's input and everybody's questions, and we want to invite that we want you listeners to be a big part of building this community.
Yeah. And I've been so excited that my foot has been hurting, getting ready for this conversation to have and to put it out there. We've had a little bit of delay, a little bit of communication, Mercury issues with technology, and so my foot has had some pain in it the last about a week, and I knew exactly what it was from, so it's pretty funny.
Yeah, and for the listeners, that is the next step forward. And what is the next step? And we've been discussing this for quite a while, and it is interesting. We've run into some technical issues that we found a way to get around, and that'll be resolved soon. And we're not letting any obstacles get in our way of the excitement that we have in sharing this information in this new format.
Yeah, just being flexible, being the tree, and adapting. And that's what we're doing with the new changes. And I'm psyched. So I appreciate everybody, who has joined us for 6 full years, going on, moving into the 7th year. It's been amazing. We saw some of those people at the Sound Journey, and it was great to be in that energy with everybody.
Yes, it was. It was an amazing group, and showed how supported we are, and just look forward to deepening that relationship with the public and with our listeners.
All right, everybody. Thank you. And we
Much
look forward
love.
to sharing more with you soon.
Much love.